Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I will develop an expert advisor based on one very interesting concept that I found on the internet. So this expert advisor will be using a stochastic indicator, which you can see on my chart right here. And now I will briefly explain the idea behind it. Okay, so with stochastic indicator, this indicator basically shows us, let's say, cycles in a market. Okay, so you can see that it's an oscillator which basically goes from 0 to 100, and if the value or the line of the stochastic indicator is above 80, it means that there has been an uptrend, let's say, yeah. And when it's below above 80 and below 20, that means that there has been a downtrend. And it basically shows you these cycles. So since it's an oscillator, you can see that it goes from being below 20 to being above 80 and then going back. So basically it shows you the market cycles. And what I will try to do today is to test whether a stochastic indicator can be profitable on its own. So usually how you would go about entering positions with stochastic, usually you would wait for these crossovers. Yeah, so you have these two lines, one is main line, the second one is a signal line, and you basically want to wait for a crossover of these two lines, and then you want either sell, so in this case you are selling, and in this case you are buying. But these concepts work a little bit differently. So what I will do is that basically when a stochastic value goes either above or below this specified level, I will open a certain position on every new candlestick until that stochastic value is still under or below that certain level. So simply being put, basically here you can see that the stochastic indicator or the stochastic value went below level of 20 at this point, and it stayed below that level until this point. So it's basically 3 candlesticks. So what I would do is that I would open buy positions on each of these candlesticks, and then I would hold these positions until the stochastic indicator goes above the higher value, and then I would sell, or I would close all of these buy positions right here. Yeah, so that's basically the idea, and of course the other way around for the sell. So for example, in this case, you can see that at here the stochastic value was above this certain level. Therefore, I would open sell positions on all of these 4 candlesticks, and then I would hold these positions until the stochastic value goes below this down level. Yeah. So that's the idea. And I think doing this will basically test the stochastic pretty decently. So yeah, let's do it. So I'll go to my MT5 IDE. I will open my experts folder, my YouTube folder, and let's create a new file. So expert advisor template, and let's call this something like stochastic EA. Let's leave it like this. I won't specify any input parameters. I will do that inside the code itself. So let's click on next, and finish. So this is our initial script. I will also just make sure that I increase the size of the font, so now it should be nicely visible. Okay, so let's delete on the init function as we don't need it, and we will only keep the onInit and onTick functions. Okay, so since we will be using stochastic indicator, we should check its input values. Okay, so you have this K period, D period, and the slowing moving average. So 5, 3, and 3. You can see that these are like the initial values that the indicator has. Then price field is low high, and simple method. Okay, so of course, when we are working with indicators, we have to create a handle. So let's call it stochastic handle, and then we will, on init function, we will do stochastic handle is equal to I stochastic. So symbol period current, and now k period was 5, d period 3, and slowing also 3. Okay, and mode was simple moving average, and it was low to high. So of course these are variables, so these are values that we can change, and by changing these values the indicator will basically give us different data as well. Therefore the results of the EA will be different. So what we will do now is that we will just create input group called stochastic settings, and then we can specify, so input integer k will be equal to 5, input integer d is equal to 3, and input integer slowing is equal to 3. I've also discovered one very nice technique, let's say, of creating these input variables. I have seen it in some code. So basically what you can do, just to make sure that you exactly know what this is that you just can create this INP before that. So basically now we know that these variables are input variables. So that's just like a nice touch, let's say, how to make your code more clean. So now we will replace these values by these input variables, and we can also make an input variable from this mode and stochastic low high also, I guess. So input, so now enum ma method will be, and let's say input method will be equal to mode SMA. So now we can just take this here, paste it here, and now for the same thing for the stochastic low high, but now I'm not sure what enum it is. Maybe stochastic price, so input stoch price will be equal to stochastic low high. So I hope that this is the right so this works. Okay, perfect. So now we have created our handle for the stochastic indicator. So now on tick function, so first outside the onTick function, so I will create a stochastic array. Okay, so this array will be basically used for storing the stochastic values. Okay, so since I only need one stochastic value, because I only have to check whether the stochastic value is above or below a certain value, then it will be very, very simple thing to do. So one more thing before we start. As I said, I want to open a new position once every new candlestick. So basically what I have to do is that I have to make sure that I execute my code only once per every candlestick. It's not necessary to make this condition for all of the functions inside the EA, basically. It's only necessary to do it for the entry function, but I guess in our case we can just make like this condition up here and then execute the rest of the code only once per new candlestick. So let's do it. So let's create static integer variable called last candle, which is equal to 0, and then integer candles, which is equal to I dot bars symbol period current. And now simply, so if last candle is equal to candles, so this means basically that we have already executed the rest of the code on that specific or on the current candlestick. We just want to return and don't do anything. And then of course we have to update the last candle to the candles. So this basically makes sure that we don't open multiple positions on the same candlestick. Okay, so I can create a separate functions, and I probably should. So yeah, let's do it. I will create separate functions. So void, let's call this open positions. Yeah. And now, so the first thing we have to do, we have to get the stochastic value. So for this we use the copy buffer function with the stochastic handle, buffer number 0, starting position. So now this is a good question here. I think I will go for starting position 1 and then count 1, and we will store it into the stochastic array. Just to explain why this value is very important for us. So when we go back here, basically what can happen, for example here, yeah, what can happen is that during the process or during the candlestick, so basically when there are new ticks and the candlestick is not finished, what can happen is that the stochastic value can go above, for example in here it can go above the certain level, but then before the candlestick is finished it can go back. Okay, so basically what we are doing here is that we are just checking the values, stochastic values for closed candlesticks. Okay, so this way we won't basically get any false signals. Okay, and now we just have to say, so if stochastic array at position 0 is higher than 80, okay, so that's basically our condition for opening cell positions. Yeah, and else if stochastic array at position 0 is below 20, that means that we have to opening by positions. So that's pretty simple. So now we get to the part where we open buy and sell positions. So for doing that, we need to include the trade/trade.mqh library, and then we can create a ctrade. I'm not sure if it's like this. I think it's like this. So ctrade trade and this. Perfect. Next step. Also create ask and bid variables, because we need to have ask and bid price. So ask is equal to symbol info double for the current symbol ask, and bid is equal to symbol info double for the current symbol and symbol bid. Perfect. So now let's open these positions. So let's say trade sell volume. We don't have to worry about volume for now. Symbol price is bid price, and we don't want to specify either stop loss or take profit, simply because it's dynamic. And now just do something like this. Okay, so now if we think about this, this is not the only thing we can do inside these functions. So as I said before, basically when we open buy positions here, we want to close them in here. Okay, so basically when we are opening a new buy position, we can check for any sell positions and delete them, and vice versa. When we are opening sell positions, we can just like look for buy positions that are already opened and close them. Yeah. So that's also something we will do right here. And of course, we can create a for loop, basically, which will execute on every new position we open. Yeah, but that's not very smart from us, simply because we want to close those positions on the first candlestick. Yeah, because after that there are no positions, and it wouldn't make sense to loop through those positions again and again and again. So I will create static boolean variables called isBuy equals false and isSell equals false. So basically these variables will keep track of whether we have any open buy or open sell. So if we open sell, then obviously is sell equals true. Yeah. And if we open buy, then obviously is buy is equal to also true. So that's pretty simple. So now we can basically do our or do you know what? There is one thing, or there is another approach to this, which will basically make this much more easier, or not easier, but more clean. And since clean code is something we want to have, I will choose the second approach. So let me just start over. So isSell isBuy delete this, and we will only say, so now it's not a static, so it's only boolean, and let's call this close buy equals false and close sell. So why is this a better approach? So basically what we can do is that we can assign, so here close buy is equal to true because we have open sell, and here close sell is equal to true because we have opened the buy here, therefore closing previous cells. And now instead of doing two for loops, we can down here create one for loop. So if close buy or close sell, okay, so now basically if either one of these are true or is true, then we want to do this simple for loop. So for integer x is equal to 0, x lower than positions total, and we increase the x by 1. So ticket is position get ticket at position x, and now we only need type. So integer type is equal to position get integer position type right here. And now we say, so if type is equal to 0 and close by, yeah, so now we are basically checking if the type of the position we are currently checking is buy position and we want to close by, or type is equal to 1, which is for sell positions, and close sell, then we have to simply do trade dot position close ticket and -1. So I think this should basically do everything for us. Yeah, so now we can just go here and say open positions. So let's try this. This will be very, very interesting thing. So just, so this is Stochastic EA. So let me just go back here and find the EA. Sorry, this is my personal one. YouTube, and where is Stochastic? Oh, Stochastic EA. Okay, so let's test this. Okay, it seems like it doesn't do anything, so that's perfect. So why isn't it doing anything? Where's the okay, so there's obviously some error here. Not error because it doesn't show us any errors, but there's something I messed up in the code. Okay. Yeah. It's this one, I guess. Yeah, so we found an error. I just forgot to do 2 equal signs, and I just did 1, which is not correct in if else statement. So that's that. And now we can see basically that our stochastic here was below 20, therefore we open buy position. And I think we can just let it run like this and then check it. Okay, so this is something, and let's let's try to check this. Okay, so why do we have so many positions? It's obvious, because basically we go below this level of 20 multiple times until we get over the higher level. So that's basically why we open positions here, 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 here maybe, and here. Yeah, so that's basically why. And then we get here and we close these positions. So yeah, like this this works as it should, because this is exactly what we went after. Yeah, I am really curious about the so far we are profitable. so that's funny. That's really funny. Yeah, so this is an interesting concept, to be honest. Like, there are multiple ways we can improve this, and I will just check how long this video is. It's 21 minutes, so maybe we'll do some improvements, because this is funny, and as you can see, we are increasing the balance size, so that's funny as hell. Okay, so let's just do test like this. And as you can see, this is something that can be profitable. Perfect. So now there is one error that I noticed in here. So as you can see, for example, when we have this cycle of buy trades, and if you zoom in here, you can see that all of these positions don't close on the same candle. So I think it's pretty difficult to see, but basically a bunch of these buy positions are are closed on this candlestick, and then some of the next ones are closed on this one, and then the rest on this candlestick, which I don't want, because I want to close all of these positions on the same candlestick, on the first one. The issue with this is just simply because we are dealing with so many positions. It's very difficult for the server to process all of our requests. So there's one very simple fix, and I will show you what it is now. So basically we create a nested for loop. So for integer, let's call it z is equal to 0, z below 10, z plus plus, we execute this piece of code. So now basically we are doing the exactly same thing, but 10 times. So this should take care of this. So let me just open or visual mode. I just hope my MT5 won't stop working, because with so many orders, it sometimes can happen that it just stops working, and then I don't want that. So let's hope this will be an okay. And if we check the cycle, basically, here you can see that all of these positions are closed on the one and the same candlestick. So this is fixed. Perfect. This is fixed. So let's think about some ways of how to improve this. So when I say improve, what I mean is that we want to make this EA as dynamic as possible. By dynamic, I mean we want to have as many input variables which we can optimize later. So basically, when we optimize this EA, that's where we get the best of it. Yeah. Therefore, we want to make it as dynamic as possible. So of course, there are two things we can make dynamic, and those are these upper and lower values. So What we can, for example, try out is that we can just create a input integer higher val is equal to 80 and input integer lower val is equal to 20. So now we just take these variables and we replace these values with them. Okay, so lower val. So now what this allows us to do is that we can go to the strategy optimizer and we can basically optimize these values. Yeah, so now for example, just firstly I will just change these values to show you how it looks like. So if I increase and decrease these values by 10, let's check what will happen. Yeah, so now you can see that we open less positions. Okay, so it's not that visible, but we open less positions and we can check basically which values. Yeah, so for example in here this was 9, 10, something like this. So yeah, so that's that. So now basically this serves, or this works as some kind of a filter. Of course we can use some other features such as martingale, and we don't have to wait all the way, or we don't have to wait for the stochastic to go to the other side in order to close the positions. We can implement some other rules for take profit and stop losses, but that will take some time and I'm just lazy. So what we will do now is that we will just simply optimize the EA and see whether we can get some very good results. So we can definitely optimize these input settings. Yeah, so for K period, let's start at 3, increase by 2, and let's go to something like 25. D period, I think we can start at 2, increase by 2, and go to 16. And slowing, so slowing is interesting, so 2, and let's go to 40. Yeah, I don't work with stochastic very often, so I don't have a feeling for these settings, but I guess they make sense more or less, and I'll just change this to, do you know what, let's go for 50 for each of these, just to make them even and to make sure that we check more possibilities or more possible settings. So for the input method of the moving average, I think we can keep it to simple for now, and low high we can keep this as well, and we just can go for the higher value lower value optimization for now. So for higher value I would suggest starting at 70. Going below 70, I think it doesn't make sense, because then you would open so many positions. Let's increase by 2 and let's go to something like 96. And for lower value the same way, so 30 to, oh sorry, we have to go the other way around. So we start at 4, 2 and to 30. Yeah. So this is basically the correct way to do this. Can I also do negative step? Oh, I can. So if I would do something like this, does it work? Yeah, it works exactly the same way. So you basically increase or decrease. So that's up to you. Okay, so let's optimize this. So we optimize on GBP/USD 50-minute time frame for a year. And I think these are okay settings. Yeah, and sorry, I just custom max not. And let's go for the profit factor. So let's click on start and let's see what will happen. Just keep in mind that this backtest or not backtest. Keep in mind that when talking about the drawdown, it's not reliable here, simply because we are optimizing on $10,000 account with the lot size of 0.01. So drawdown, that's not something we will pay much attention to. Let's say we will just look on the total trades and on the result and on the profit as well. Okay, so it seems like it takes some time as we basically progress with the settings. So yeah, it stopped on 511. So basically there can be oh, now it's okay. So let's wait for a while longer here. Let's go to 1000 and then we can like check the results. Let's just check the filters. Okay, so I will just filter out the bad, really bad optimization results, and we will check only the good ones. Okay, so 766, it takes too long, so let's stop it and let's just check these results we got. Okay, so let's check, for example. Okay, so it seems like this is something I like, okay, because yeah, it has a nice profit factor, it has a nice profit and a good number of trades. So for example, here you can see that it has very nice profit factor, not bad profit, but only 43 trades, so that's not something I'm interested in. This seems much nicer to me. So let's run a back test that looks like this. So okay, so this is crazy, yeah, but as you can see, basically the strategy with this one. Okay, so this is just crazy. Yeah, but it makes sense, yeah. So you basically open a lot of positions. Let's check the inputs on 92 and 16. Okay, so this is basically the sweet spot for this. And yeah, then you wait. So this is crazy. But as you can see, this works pretty nicely, yeah. Well, I wouldn't use this EA on my own account, that's for sure. But, oh my god, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Do you know what will be interesting? Let's just test this EA on a different time period, and let's see how this performs. Okay. So basically in one cycle it doubled the account size with only 0.01 lots. But then, yeah, then it lost. Okay, so this is interesting, that's for sure. So let's check another backtesting results or optimization results. So this was very interesting to see. So well, I know I said that the drawdown is not something we want to focus on in here, but let's just try this. So this is very low drawdown, only 4.26%. And let's just test this, okay? So now this looks very nice, yeah? So as you can see, now it goes for faster stochastic values, yeah? And we close these orders pretty frequently. So let's just test this as we did before on some different time span. Yeah, and okay, so this is bad. This is bad. Okay, I wanted to say that like this doesn't look so bad after these initial trades, but it does. Okay, so let's check one more, for example this one, and we will test this on this new period. Yeah, also losing. Okay, so this is 34. Okay, so there is one last thing I will do and then I will finish this video. So Of course, there's one feature we can explore, and that is the forward feature and optimizing. So basically what this does is that if we basically select 221 to 224, it will optimize the results on 221 till 223, and then it will backtest these optimized settings for 223 till 224. So that's basically how you avoid over optimization. So let's just do that, and let's hope this won't take too long. So let's just see. Well, it will probably take too long, so damn it. Okay, so I guess this will take too long, as you can see it's already 10 minutes. Okay, so let's stop this, and I think we can finish, or I can end the video here. Yeah, because I don't want to be waiting here for so long. Okay, so this is it. Like, I think this was pretty interesting to see, because yeah, this is something extremely simple. As you can see from my code, it's like one function and that's it. But with proper optimization and with some other features that could upgrade this EA, yeah, this might not be that bad, basically. Yeah. As you saw for yourself, there were some optimization results that were very, very good. The only downside was that it either opened too many positions, or yeah, that was basically the only downside to that. Okay, so I'm talking too much. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.